Israel's idolatry at Peor. After their long journey, Israel settled near the plains of Moab. They were tired but safe, poised on the edge of the promised land. Yet, their safety turned to softness. The Moabite people invited them to festivals, starting subtly, with shared meals and comfortable conversation. The command to be separate began to fade into the desert heat, especially for men like Shimei. The invitations grew bolder. Soon, the friendly feasts were held in honor of the Moabite gods. The Israelites did not resist the delicious food or the enchanting dances. They ate and bowed, telling themselves it was harmless tradition, a simple cultural exchange, just blending in for a moment of peace. This compromise led to the ultimate betrayal, the worship of Baal of Peor. This deity demanded physical immorality and spiritual surrender. The people of Israel, who had seen God's power at Sinai and the Red Sea, willfully submitted to idols. They exchanged their covenant for fleeting, illicit pleasure. God's holiness could not tolerate such rebellion. His anger flared against the camp. A devastating plague erupted, striking down thousands instantly. Moses and the high priest Eleazar wept at the entrance of the tabernacle, witnessing the swift and terrible judgment falling upon the compromised nation. While the plague raged, one man, Zimri, an audacious leader from the tribe of Simeon, publicly defied God and Moses. He brought a Midianite woman named Cosbi right past the weeping elders into his tent. This was the pinnacle of arrogance and desecration, mocking the judgment underway. Among the mourners stood Phinehas, the grandson of Aaron. Seeing this blatant challenge to God's law and seeing his people perish, holy indignation burned within him. He did not ask permission. He knew what needed to be done to restore God's honor and stop the escalating destruction. Phinehas followed Zimri and Cosbi into the tent. In one swift, terrible act, he executed judgment upon them, piercing them both together. His zeal was not one of personal revenge, but pure, immediate devotion to God's holiness and justice, severing the sin from the community. The plague stopped immediately. God had seen Phinehas's righteous action, and the covenant was renewed through his zeal, saving the nation. 24,000 had perished because of the sin at Peor, a harsh reminder that compromise with darkness brings swift death. After the plague, God commanded a second census. The numbering was not just to count heads, but to reorganize the people into a holy army, prepared to inherit the promised land. The generation that compromised had died. The new generation, defined by structure and obedience, must now walk in faith. The lesson of Peor echoes today. Compromise is rarely simple. Holiness demands separation from the world's idols, whether they look like feasting, entertainment, or casual sin. Phinehas reminds us that true devotion requires fierce loyalty to God, refusing to let compromise take root in our hearts, so that we may fully inherit the promises set before us.